Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel Genetics. Have you ever wondered how Python programs manage large amount of data so efficiently? The answer often comes down to choosing the right data structure. In today's video, we are going to explore two of Python's most important and widely used data structures, dictionaries and sets. These play a key role in writing clean, efficient and practical Python code used in real-world applications. In this lesson, you will learn how to work with them and where they fit in real coding scenario. So let's get started. So what is dictionary in Python? A dictionary in Python is a built-in data structure that allows you to store and manage data as a key value. Okay, key value pair, where each key is associated with a value and it is used to look it up efficiently. This is different from list and tuples. Okay, this is completely different from list and tuples, which use numeric indexing. That means list and tuple uses numeric indexing. But in case of dictionary, it uses keys instead. Okay. So I gave you example. For in case of list, what we have done? To create our list, we just put square bracket, right? And within this, we mention all our values like this. Right? In the same way, to create our tuple, we just put two parentheses and within this, we have mentioned all our values like this, right? But in case of dictionary, we have to use curly brackets. Okay, curly brackets. And within this, we have to mention our key value pair. Okay, key value pair. Okay, this is the key 1, value 1, key 2, value 2. Okay, this is the variable and this is the value of this key. Okay, so in order to create our list, we have to use square bracket. In order to create our tuple, we have to use parentheses, and in order to create our dictionary, we have to use curly brackets. But the difference is within list and tuple, we mention all our value one by one. But in case of dictionary, we have to mention our value using its associated key. Okay, key in key value pair, right? Okay. Now, in order to access the value from the list and tuple, what we have done? We just call our list name, right? And we pass our index value, right? Because list and tuple both having its own index position. This is 0, this is 1, this is 2, right? This is 3, this is 4, right? In the same way, tuple is also having this is 0, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, right? Then if we call our list name and pass our any kind of index position, suppose 1, then this 21 will be our output, right? In the same way, if we pass list name of 2, list name of 2, that is 2 in equation, that is 20, then it will be that will be 20, right? So in the same way, in case of tuple, we mention our tuple name, right? And within square bracket, we have to pass our index position number. Suppose 2, then it will give the output as 20, right? This is how we can access the data from list and tuple. But dictionary doesn't have its own index position. Okay, it doesn't have its index position. So in order to access the value from this dictionary, what we have to do? We have to pass our dictionary name, and with this square bracket, instead of passing any index value, because it doesn't have any index value, we have to pass the key name already. Okay, key name. Suppose key 1. If I pass key 1, then it will give the output as value 1. This one. Okay. Now if I pass key 2, this one, then it will give the value as value 2. This one. Okay. So this is how we can access our data from the dictionary. So this is, in case of list, we access using its index position. That is what it is mentioned here. This is different from list and tuple, which use numeric indexing, because list and tuple is used in numeric indexing position, okay, by which we can access the data from list and tuple. But in case of dictionary, it uses key, okay. So in order to access the data from the dictionary, we have to use key, dictionary name, and we have to pass the key, and automatically it gives the value as its output, okay. So this is the basic definition and structure of dictionary and how it is different from list and tuple, right? Why use a dictionary? Think of a dictionary like a real world dictionary, okay. You look a word, is a word that becomes considered as key, okay. Whatever word you look into a real world dictionary, that considered as key, okay, to get the meaning, okay, to get the meaning means that the value, okay. So the word which you are looking for, that is become your key, and the word that you are getting as the answer, that becomes value, okay. This is the dictionary in Python. Python dictionaries are especially useful when you want to look up data by unique label instead of numeric index. As I told you, dictionary doesn't have any index value, so we can find the data using its label, that is key, okay. You need to store relationship, that is username profile. So in case of dictionary, most of the time we create a kind of relationship type of data, right? Like name, Sam, okay. This is a dictionary, comma. This is the name is the key, and Sam is the value, right? Again, age, like 25, okay. So on, okay. So this is how we can create our dictionary, and here we maintain our any kind of relationship, okay. Fast access to value is important. Basically, in dictionary, we can access our data using the key, so it is very fast, okay. For example, you might store student name as a key and their grades. So this is how name, Sam, age 25. You can mention grade A plus, right? Like this. Like you can create your dictionary, okay. Next is key characteristics of dictionaries. Key value pair. So basically, in dictionary we have key and value, okay. Key, value. This is the pair of dictionary, right? So this is how we can mention our dictionary. This is one of the characteristics. Second is key must be unique. So whenever you create your dictionary, whatever key you are giving, that has to be unique, okay. You cannot give the same key in your single dictionary, okay. If you mention the same key, suppose here you made name Sam, okay, age 25. Now again, if you mention name as Bob, okay, now automatically Python replace this same value as Bob, okay, because dictionary cannot have the same key name multiple time, okay. It has to be unique, okay. Dictionary mutable. So whenever you want, you can modify your data in dictionary because it is mutable, right? So I'm creating a new file, okay, dig.py, okay. I'm mentioning the name as dig.py. Now in order to create our dictionary, first of all, we have to mention our one variable. Suppose I mention person, okay. Now I have to put my curly brackets in order to create my dictionary. Now within this, I have to mention my data as a key value pair, okay. Now for example, name as Sam, okay. Age as 25, okay. Country and India, okay. Now if I print person and execute this one, now see, I'm getting output my dictionary, all the values, okay. Name Sam, age 25, country India, okay. This is how we can create our dictionary and print it. Okay. Now, just like list, we can create our empty dictionary as well. Okay. So if I write my dict equal to, just put a curly brackets, then it become a empty dictionary. Okay. Now if I print my dict, okay, and try to see the type of my dict, then see. This is the first one. Okay, this one person. Okay. Now this is the second one. Okay, this is empty. My dict, that is empty dictionary. Okay. And now the class is dictionary. Now when I'm printing my the type of this my dict dictionary, then it is showing class as dictionary. Okay. That means it is a dictionary. Now there is another way to create our dictionary. Okay. So in Python, just like list and tuple, we have a dict function, inbuilt function, by which we can create our dictionary. Okay. So if I create one variable student and try to create my student dictionary, then we can write dict. This is the inbuilt function. Okay. So using this dict function, we can create our dictionary. Okay. And here we have to give our value as name equal to Sam. Okay. Here we don't need to give our data as key pair value. Okay. Here we have to just mention our variable and just give the value. Okay. Comma, age equal to 25 and country, just a minute, age equal to 25, country equal to India. Okay. Now let me comment it out. Now if I print my student dictionary, okay, and try to print the type of this student dictionary, type of student. Okay. Now let's see. Now see, name Sam, age 25, in country India. Okay. So I have mentioned my dict function, and within this I just mention my name, age, country. Now it becomes automatically dictionary. Just putting the curly brackets over here. You can see these are curly brackets here. Okay. So that means it is dictionary. And when I try to find out the type of the student, then it is showing class as dictionary. That means it is dictionary. Okay. So using this dictionary function as well, we can create our dictionary. Yes, we can create our dictionary using these curly brackets and just putting my value as key pair format. Okay. But make sure whenever you create your dictionary, your key has to be unique. Okay. You cannot keep same key name multiple times. Okay. Your key has to be unique. Just remember this one. Next is accessing and retrieving dictionary value. The first one is accessing value using keys. As I told you, in dictionary it doesn't have any index value, right? So there is a key and value, right? Key and value. So in order to access our data from this dictionary, we have to mention our dictionary name, and within this we have to pass our key name. Okay. Within this we have to pass our key name, key 1, key 2, key 3, everything, and it will give its corresponding value. Okay. So this is how we can access our data from dictionary. This is the number one process. The second one is get method. Okay. This is one of the most safest method, because in case of this process, if suppose this is my name, okay, I have this dictionary name as Sam and age 25. Okay. This is one of my dictionary. Now if I try to find out, suppose this is the student. Okay. Student dictionary. Now if I mention student name, Okay, then it will give me the output as same, right? But if I mention student as class, suppose class, do my dictionary have this class key? No, right? In this case, it will show me the error. It will show me the error. Okay. So in this method, if my key is not present in my dictionary, then it will throw the error. But why get method is more separate? Because in case of get, we have to write like this: student dot get, and within this we have to mention our key name. Okay, suppose name, right? Now this will give me the output as same, right? Now suppose I am mentioning student dot get, and within this I am mentioning class. Okay, now do I have class key in my dictionary? No, I don't have. In that case, it will show none instead of giving any kind of error. Okay, it will give me the value as none. It will not throw any kind of error. So our program will gets run. Okay, it will not stop here. There is another very important use case of get method, that is default value. Okay, suppose now this class is not there in my dictionary, so it is giving output as none. Okay, now I want, instead of showing none as output, I want any kind of customized value. Whenever there is a none is my output. Okay, so for that, now if I mention get and like class, now class I don't have class key. Now instead of showing none, if I mention something like this, data not provided. Okay, something like this. Now when I run this line, it will give me answer as data not provided instead of showing none. Okay, because I can mention my default value. So that is why get is more safer, because if key is not there in my dictionary, then it will show none by default. In other case, if I want to show any customized value as a default value, then I can mention that, so that it gives the my customized value instead of showing none. Okay. Now next is keys. Okay. Let me first remove all these things. Next is keys. Suppose this is one of my dictionary. Name, Sam. This is my student dictionary. Okay. Age 25. Okay. Now key method works. Basically, it gives all the keys name in a list format. Okay. So for example, if I write student dot key, okay, student dot keys, and try to print this one, then it gives me the answer as dict keys. Okay, dict keys, and within this, in a list format, all the keys name will be printed. Okay, separated by comma. Okay, like this. So to get all the keys from my dictionary, we can use our dot key function. Okay. In the same way, values gives the all the values of the from the dictionary. Okay. So if I write print student dot values and try to print out, then it will give me the output as dict underscore values. Okay, and in this form it will give me all the values. Okay, all the values like this, right? So in order to get our list of name, then we can write student dot keys, and in order to get our values, we can write student dot values. Okay. The fifth one is items. Get key and value pair. Okay. Sequence. If I write print student dot items. Okay, now it will give me output as dict underscore items. Okay, now in a list form it will give me the output as in list form. Okay, but all the key value pair in a tuple. Okay, like this: name, comma, Sam. Okay, separated by comma. This is the second tuple. That would be age would be 25. Okay, and our list will be closed. And now, okay, so this is the item. So dot keys value give all the keys name from my dictionary. Dot values gives all the values from my dictionary, and dot items gives all the key value pair from my dictionary. Okay, so these are the basic few methods by which we can retrieve and access our dictionary values. Okay, now in order to understand my retrieval process, now let me create one dictionary first. Okay, now I'm mentioning score. Okay, now here I mention math. Okay, this is the key and the value is 87. Okay, now second is science. Now I put in the value as 92. Okay, third one is history, value as 75. Okay, now first method, in order to access our any data, suppose sign. Okay, now we can write something like this: print score, and within this we have to pass my key name. Okay, that is science. Okay, now if I execute this one, now see 92. My value of this science key is 92. So 92 is getting printed. Okay, so this is one of the process. Now if I try to find out something history, there is no key like chemistry. Okay, now if I mention chemistry, okay, and try to execute this one, now see it is showing me error. It is showing me error. Okay, because chemistry key is not there in my score dictionary, right? So in this, to solve this type of error, we use get method. This is the one of the safest method. So let's see how we can process this. Now let me first comment it out. Now in order to use our get method, we have to use score dot get. Okay, dot get, and within this I have to mention my keys. Suppose first one math. Okay, so it should give me the answer without any error, right? Now let me write another one, dot get, and within this I'm trying to pass my another key, that is chemistry. That is chemistry, but chemistry is not there in my dictionary, right? Fine. Now another option is, okay, let me execute first, then I show you. Now see, now if I execute this one, now math is there in my score dictionary, but chemistry is not there. But in this case, in this previous one, when I try to execute the chemistry one, then it will show me the error. But now if I execute this, now see, math is 87, it is giving. Okay, now chemistry is not there. Chemistry is not there. So instead of giving any kind of error, it is showing none. Okay, it is showing none. That is why get is more safer option to use. Okay, now again, if you don't want output as none, you want to show something here, customized value, that is default value, then you can write like it. You can just mention over here key is not there. Okay. Now if you execute this one, now see, instead of giving error, it is giving the default value, whatever you mentioned in case of missing keys. Okay. So this is how we can use our get method. So basically, if you know that there is a key, whatever key you want to mention that is present in your dictionary, then you can use this method. Okay, there is no issue. But if you are not confirmed whether your key is present in your dictionary or not, then you can use, it is always recommended to use the get method, because if key is there, then it will give the output. If key is not there, then it will give the output as none. Or you, if you want, instead of showing none, you can give any default value, whatever you want to get in your output. Okay, so this is why it is recommended to use get method. Okay, now next is keys. Okay, now let me comment it out. Next is keys. If I write print score dot keys, okay, now it will give me all the keys from my dictionary. Okay, only keys. Now see, dict keys, and within this, in a list form, it is give me all the keys name, that is math, science, history. Now see, math, science, history. Okay, math, science, history. So dot keys value, dot keys function is give me basically all the keys whatever present in my dictionary. Okay, now in the same way, I can write dot values in order to get all the values from the dictionary. Okay, and another is items. Items gives me all the key and value in a tuple format. Okay, now let's print. Now see, first one is key. Now see, dict key, math, science, history. Okay, second one is dict value, that is dot value. Okay, dict value, and it is giving me the values 87, 92, 75. Okay, 87, 92, 75. And dot items, that is dict item, and it will give me the key and value in a tuple format. Okay, math 87, comma, science 92, comma, history 75. Okay, so this is how we can get whatever data we want, either it is key or value or both. We can use this inbuilt function to get the keys. Just use dot keys. To get the values, just use dot values, and to get all the data altogether, key and values, just use items. Okay. Now, as dictionary is mutable, right? So we can add or update any items in the dictionary, right? So how do we do that? Now, first of all, let me comment it out. Okay. Now I'm creating a new dictionary. Okay. Suppose student. Now here I am mentioning my key value pair, that is name. Okay. As same. Age as 25. Okay. And country as India. Okay. Right. Now if I want to add a new data, okay, let me do one thing. I just keep name and age. Okay. Now I want to add a new data, that is country. Okay. Now in order to add a new key value pairs, we have to write student, and within this, now I have to mention my new key, whatever key I want to include. Okay. Now I want to include country. Okay. And now I have to pass my value, that is India. So basically, now this is my student dictionary where my name and age is there. Country is not there. Now I want to include another key value pair, that is country as India. Okay. Now I print student. Now see, in my student dictionary, country as India has been inserted. Okay. Name is country. So country has been inserted. So this is how we can include our new key value in our existing dictionary. Okay. Now, if I want to update any value in my dictionary, then what to do? Then we have to just mention student. Suppose I want to update my name as Bob. Okay. This is same. I want to update my age name keys as Bob. Now you have to mention name. Okay. And here I have to mention the new value, that is Bob. Okay. Now if I print my student dictionary and let me execute it. Now see, the first one, this one. Okay, this student. This is giving me name as Sam. Okay, name as Sam. After updating my name key as Bob, it is giving me name as Bob. Okay. So just calling my key and mentioning the new value, it automatically update the new value, because I told you in a dictionary you cannot have the same key name. It has to be unique, right? So my name is already there. So whenever I mention name and putting a value, then automatically my dictionary replace the new value with the previous one. Okay, with the previous one. That is why name is getting printed as Bob. Okay, so automatically it updates, right? Okay, so using this technique, we can insert our data or update our data one by one. Okay, but if we want to perform a operation in multiple data, suppose we want to include multiple data at once, or we want to update multiple data at once, then there is a option that is update in-built function. Okay, there is a in-built function update by which we can either add new item or update existing one when the keys is matched. Okay, now let's see how we can do that. Now, for example, let me comment it out. So right now my dictionary is this one, right? Great. Now let me check once. Okay, fine. Now suppose I want to include student email ID and student grade. Okay, these two key value pair I want to include. Okay, at the same time I want to update my age as 26. Okay, now how can we perform this operation? Now in order to do that, we have to mention student dot update. Okay, student dot update. Here first of all I have to mention I want to include grade. Okay, suppose grade, I want to include grade A plus. Okay, email ID, I want to include email ID. Okay, as bob@gmail.com. Okay, so these two data I want to include. Okay, this is the new data. At the same time I want to update my age as 26. So whenever I mention my existing key and putting any value, automatically this value will be replaced by the previous one. Okay, whenever there is a new key value, that will be inserted, and whenever there is a key gets matched, automatically the new value will be replaced by the previous one. Okay, now if I print student and execute this one. Now see this one. This one is name Sam, age 25, country India, right? Now once I perform the dot update operation and print my student, now it is printing down. Now see, name Sam, age gets updated. Now see, I mentioned age as 26, so it gets updated because age key gets matched with my existing age key, right? So age gets updated. That's 26. Country India, and the new two key value, that is grade and email. Grade and email. This grade as A plus email bob@gmail.com. This value has been inserted. This value has been inserted, right? So using dot update, we can add our new key value, or we can update our existing value with this existing key, right? So this is how we can perform our different type of insertion and updation items in dictionary in Python. Okay, because dictionary is mutable. Okay, so as the dictionary is mutable, so this is how we can perform insertion or updation in any item in a dictionary. Okay, next is removing items from dictionary. The first method is pop. Okay, so basically pop method removes the item with the given keys, okay, and return the values. That means, suppose I have a dictionary score, okay, A1, B as 2, okay, C as 3, right? Now, if I perform score dot pop, okay, pop, now I want to delete B, okay, I want to remove this B. Now just I have to mention my key over here. I just mention key over here, okay. Now if I print score, now it will give me output as A1 and C as 3, okay. But the one of the most important point that you need to remember in case of pop holds the value, okay. Now if you write, suppose removed data, okay, equal to score dot pop, okay. Now when you print score, it will give me this output. But now if you print this remove data, okay, okay, that will show the output as 2, because whenever you use pop method to remove any kind of key and value, then it will store this value, okay. So basically it is useful when you want your value, deleted value, removed value, you want to store somewhere in case of any requirement. In that case, in that time, pop is very much important, okay. Also pop holds the default value as well, okay. Now for example, if I perform score dot pop and mention any value that is not present, suppose D, okay, and I can mention my default value none, then when I execute this one, now D is not there in my dictionary, so it will give me the output as none, okay. So pop is basically useful whenever you want to hold your removed value for your project requirement, and also when you want to pass any kind of default value when he is not there, okay, at the time of removing. So in that case you can use pop method, okay. Next is pop item. Pop item is, if you want to that is LIFO method. If you know LIFO method, that is last in first out, okay. So whenever you create any dictionary, suppose this dictionary has been created, score A equal to A1, B2, C3. So this C is the last item, okay. C is the last item that has been inserted in my dictionary. So whenever you use pop item, it will automatically score dot pop item, then automatically it will remove the last inserted value from the dictionary, That is why this is called last in first out, LIFO. So last in, that means C has been inserted lastly, so it will remove first. So whenever we write score.pop item, then it will remove the last one, last inserted value from a dictionary. Okay, so this is how we can use pop item. For del, del is also work just like pop. If I write del space, I have to mention my dictionary name. Okay, within this I have to pass my key, suppose V. Okay, now if I perform this one, so this one also remove the B and 2, this will be removed. And finally, if I print my score, then it will give me the output as A1 B, sorry, not B, C as 3. So B will be removed. But the difference is between pop and del. In case of del, the removed value will not be stored. Okay, here we can store our deleted value, right? Creating a new variable, we can store our deleted value, right? These two. But in case of del, we cannot store our default value. So whenever we want to just remove our value, we don't bother about our remove key and removed values. When we are not bothered about it, then in that case we can use delete. But in our project requirement, if we need to store our removed value, then we can use pop. Okay, so whatever you require based on your project, you can use either pop or del. Okay, next is clear. Clear removes all our dictionary values at once. Okay, and it will give me the empty string. It will give me the empty dictionary. Okay, now if I perform score dot clear, it will give me output as blank dictionary, because dot clear function removes all the data in my dictionary. Okay, so this is how we can perform our clear function to remove all the data in our dictionary. So these are the inbuilt function that we can use to remove our data. So if you want to remove a specific key and get the value, use pop. Okay, if you want to remove all the last inserted pair, use pop item. If you want to use del keyword, this keyword, an item will be removed, but our deleted value will not be stored. Okay, and clear function, it will clear all the data from our dictionary and give the empty dictionary. Okay, fine. Now, first of all, let me comment it out. I'm getting a new dictionary score. Okay, and putting the value A1 B 2 C 3 D plus 4. Okay, this is my dictionary. Now, if I use pop, okay, now I have to write score dot pop. Okay, and I am to remove the B. Okay, B variable, B key. I want to remove B. Okay, B key. Now, if I print score, okay, now I print score. Okay, now as pop stored the removed value, so let me put a new variable, removed. Okay, remove value. Okay, I'm just giving a minimize remover. Now if I print this removed del variable, now let's see. Now see, from my dictionary, as I used score dot pop and mention my B, so B value and B key and value has been removed. Now my dictionary, when I print score, now my dictionary is become A1 C3 D4. Okay, and as my dot pop function holds the remove value, so my value is 2, right? B value of B is 2, so it holds the value as 2. Okay, holds the value as 2. So I store this value in my remove val variable, and when I print this remove val variable, then it is showing the remove keys value. Okay, so this is how we can perform our key. This is how we can perform our pop function. Now next is pop items. Okay, now let me comment it out. Now here let me print my score first. Okay, now ABCD. Okay, now pop items. What I said, pop items removes the last inserted value from my dictionary. Okay, so when I create my dictionary, which one is the last? This D. Okay, so if I write score dot pop items, okay, and pop items also holds the deleted values. Okay, so let me store in a variable. Okay, now this. Now after performing the pop item operation, first of all I will print my score dictionary, and I will print my deleted data, that is item, whatever has been stored in my item variable. Okay, now if I print, now see, my first dictionary is ABCD. Now once I perform the pop item operation, then it removes the last one, that is D, so it becomes ABC. Okay, this is the new dictionary, and as it holds the deleted value, so I store it in item. So when I print the item, then it is showing the value whatever I have removed, that is D. Okay, D has been removed, so it stored the value. Okay, so these are we can perform our pop items. Now next is, okay, let me comment it out. Now next is delete. Okay, delete keyword. Now if I perform del score, and here I want to mention my B. Okay, now it will remove my B key along with its value. Okay, but remember del, whenever we use del, if doesn't hold the value of the deleted value, it doesn't hold the deleted value. Okay, so we cannot print it, we cannot get our deleted value once it is removed. Okay, so now if I print my score, now see, now see, now my first dictionary was ABCD. Once I perform the del perform the removing operation using this del keyword, now it removes the B1, so it becomes ACD. Okay, just like pop, it works just like pop up, but only difference is, in case of pop we holds the remove value, but in case of del it doesn't hold the remove value. Okay, now next is clear. Let me comment it out. Next is here. Now if I write score dot clear and try to print my score, now see what happens. Now see, first of all my dictionary is this one, ABCD. Okay, now it is printing. Okay, ABCD is my first dictionary, and once I perform the clear operation, then it removes all the value. It removes all the value from the dictionary, and it gives me automatically the empty dictionary. Okay, it returns the empty dictionary. So using clear function, we can remove all our data from the dictionary and return the empty dictionary. Okay, so this is how we can perform our removing operation with the inbuilt, with the different type of inbuilt function. Okay. Next is iterating through a dictionary. So when basically number one is looping over keys. Basically when you use a for in loop directly on dictionary, Python iterates over its key by default. Okay. For example, if I write something, suppose student is one dictionary. Okay. Name as Sam, age as 25. Okay. Now if I write for key in student, okay, and try to print my key, comma, student key. Okay. So this will give me the print as key is name. Okay. And student key, that means is value. Okay. Is value. Now in the same way, age and 25. So this will be my print. This will be my output. Okay. Now if I just run a for loop in my dictionary, okay, then it will give me this output. Now next is dot keys. You can explicitly use dot keys method to look over just only keys. Okay, just only keys. Now if I write something for key in student dot keys, okay, and print key, then it will give me the output of this keys only. Okay, name, age, all these things. Okay, so to get the only keys, we can use dot keys function in our loop. Okay, in the same way we can use dot values to get all our values. So if I write for value in student dot values and print my value, then all the values, that is Sam and 25, will be output. Okay, Sam 25 will be output. Okay, and last one is dot items. Okay, dot items means it will fetch the both key and values. Okay, now if I write something for key comma value in student dot item, okay, and print key comma value, then what happens? Once I run the for loop in student dot items, then automatically all the keys will be stored in this variable, and all the values will be stored in this iterable variable. Okay, that is value. Okay, so all the keys will be stored here, all the values will be stored here, and once I print, then it will give me the output as name, Sam, age 25. Okay, if you want some any colon or any symbol here, then you can put over here. Okay, so this is how we can iterate all our data from our dictionary using loops. If we want only keys, then we can use only key. If we want only values, then dot values. If we want both, then we can use dot items, or we can just write for loop in our dictionary. That's it. Okay. Now, first of all, let me create one dictionary, that is student. Okay. Here I am mentioning name as Sam. Okay. Age as 25. Country as India. Okay. Now, if I run simple for loop in my student dictionary, okay, for key in student, and try to print my key, first of all my key. Now I am to give a dash separator between keys and values. Okay, whatever you can mention over here, and student key. Okay, student key. Now if I print this one, now see, key, this key, that is name, and this student key, that means Sam. Okay, now Sam dash name dash Sam, age dash 25, country dash India. Okay, so if you want to get your key and values all together, you can just run a for loop in your student in your dictionary directly. Okay, you don't have to mention anything else. Okay, this is the looping over keys. Now next is dot keys. Okay, now I want to explicitly use my loop in to retrieve my keys already from my dictionary. Okay, so for that, now first of all let me comment it out. Now I can write for key in student dot keys. Okay, and print my key. Okay, now if I execute this one, now see, my keys are name, age, country. So my name, age, this country is getting printed. Okay, in the same way, if I am to print my values only, then just write value. You can give here in any kind of variable name. Okay, I'm just giving key and value, but you can give in any kind of variable name. It is basically iterable variable, so you can give any kind of name over here, key, value. Okay, student dot values, and I'm printing my values, printing my value. Okay, now if I execute, now see, first is my key is getting printed. Okay, now the second one is dot value, that means all the values getting printed. Okay, Sam 25 India. Okay, all my values getting printed. Now if I perform the same operation in my student dot items, but always remember, items always holds the both value, that is key and value. Okay, so whenever I perform student dot items, then it gets two value, so we have to mention two variable over here. One is key and value. Okay, or you can write something whatever you want, I comma j. Okay, whatever you want. Now if I print my key first, I, and then I want to give a separator dash. Okay, and j. Okay, now if I print, now see, this is my value key pair, value pair output, name Sam, age 25, country India. Okay, so dot item is similarly works as I used over here. Okay, either you can use your for loop directly in student dictionary, or you can use dot items, whatever you want you can do. Okay, so to iterate all the keys only, you can use dot key. To get all the values only, use dot values, or to get both key and values, you can use dot items. Okay, so this is how you can perform your iteration on keys and values to print, compare, calculate, or apply logic across all the items in your dictionary. Okay, next is nested dictionaries. A nested dictionary is a dictionary that contains other dictionaries as its values. Okay, this structure is extremely important when working with real data like student records, employee database, or any kind of API response. Okay, to access data from nested dictionary, we use multiple keys. First to reach the inner dictionary, and then to access the required values. Okay, for example, suppose we have a dictionary student. Okay, now within this we have a key, that is student 1. Okay, and within this we have a data of this student 1. Okay, for example, name as Sam. Okay, age as 25, Okay. Now this student dictionary is having one key, that is student one, and the value is this one. Value is this one. Okay. So this student dictionary is having one key, student one, and the value is this one. This one means this is the another dictionary. That becomes nested dictionary. So inside one dictionary is mentioning another dictionary is called nested dictionary. Okay. Now again, this is student 2. Now this is another key of this student dictionary. Okay. This student 2 is another dictionary of this student dictionary. Now within this, as a value, we are mentioning another dictionary, that is name. Suppose as Bob. Okay. Age as 22. Okay. This is another dictionary inside my student dictionary. So this is how we can mention different type of dictionary inside my main dictionary. So this is called nested dictionary. Okay. This is called nested dictionary. Now in this type of nested dictionary, how we can fetch our data from this dictionary? Now first of all, we have to mention our main dictionary name, right? Here, for example, we want to get this value. Okay, this 25 value. That means we want to get our student 1 age. Okay. Now in order to do that, first of all, we have to mention our main dictionary name. Then within this, how we can fetch our data from dictionary, we have to mention our key, right? So first key is this one, student 1, because we want to access this one. So this value is for student 1. So this is the key of the student dictionary. So we have to mention student, and within this we have to pass my key, that is student 1. Okay. Now I get the value of this student 1. Okay. Now within this, as this is another dictionary, so how we can get this value? By accessing the key of this value, right? So again, I have to mention my age over here. Okay. Now I have to mention my age keys over here. Now that means this student dictionary is having key as student 1. Now this student 1 is also having a key, that is age, right? So it will give me the output as 25. Right? To understand? So this is how nested it works. This is how nested dictionary works. Now if suppose we want to get the value of this Bob. Okay. Now first of all, to get this, I have to mention my main dictionary. Now within dictionary, this value pertain to which student? This student. So this student 2. So this student 2 is my key of the student. So I have to mention student 2. Right? And within this student 2, I get all the value. Now within this value, I have to access this name, and this Bob name is associated with this key, that is name. Now I have to mention my name over here. So automatically it gives me the output as Bob. Okay. So this is how our nested dictionary works to get our value from our dictionary. Okay. This is the first key, this is the second key. Okay. Because in my student dictionary, this is the first key, and within this there is another key that is become secondary key. Okay. So this is the first key, this is the second key. Okay. Now in the same way, if you want to modify or update any value from our nested dictionary, then we can write just student. Okay. Now suppose I want to update this 25 as 26. Now I have to mention my student, then which key, that is student 1. Okay. Within this, which one I want to update? Age name, age. Okay. Right. Age key I want to update. So I have to mention age. Okay. Equal to suppose 26. Okay. Now if I print my student dictionary, then this age key will be updated as 26. Okay. This is how we can perform our update. Now in the same way, we can insert our new value. Okay. For example, we want to insert a new value, that is grade. Okay. That is grade as A plus. Okay. In my student key. Okay. Now to perform that, we have to write student, and in my student key I have to insert my data. So I have to perform my first key, that is student 2, and in the second key I have to mention my grade, which I am to include, that is grade. Okay, and here I have to pass my value, which I want to include, that is A plus. Now if I print my student dictionary, then it will give me the printout. It will give me the output as this one. This one name Sam, age 26, and for the student one, name Bob, age 22, and grade A. So grade A will be inserted in my second keys as a new values. Okay, so this is how we can perform. This is how we can access our data from nested dictionary. This is how we can perform any updation or insertion in our nested dictionary. Okay, and in the same way, we can insert a new key value. Insert a new key value in my student dictionary. Like, for suppose I am to include a student 3 details. Okay, so in that case, we have to write like this: student. Okay, this is my main dictionary. Here I am to include student. I am to include student 3. Okay, student 3, and here I have to pass a new dictionary as its value like this. Okay, now name as suppose allies. Okay, age 30, grade B plus, like this. Okay, so it will insert a new key and new value in my main dictionary, that is student. Okay, so this is how we can access any item value from a nested dictionary, and we can update any value in my dictionary, and we can include, you can insert a new value in my nested dictionary. Okay, so how can we write our nested dictionary? For suppose this is the one main dictionary, that is student. Okay, now within this I have to include my student information. Okay, so first is student 1. Okay, now my values will be included as dictionary form. Okay, now name as suppose allies. Okay, age 25, marks 80. Okay, in the same way I can include another student details, that is student B or student 2. Here name is suppose Bob, age is 20, marks is 90. Okay, now try to understand. This is my main dictionary student. Within this student 1 is one of my key, and this student 2 is one of my another key. Okay, now this student 1 key holds the value as a dictionary form. Hold this value as a dictionary form. Okay, now again my student 2 key holds the value as a dictionary form. Okay, so this within a dictionary, whenever we mention any kind of dictionary, then it becomes a nested dictionary. Okay, so in order to access our data, suppose when we access this Bob, that means this name, then we can mention our first of all main dictionary name. Then within this, which student data we want to access, that is this student 2, that is the key. Okay, so we have to mention our student 2. Student 2. Okay, and within this student 2, which one we want to access? The name. The key is name. I want to access the name, right? So we have to mention our name. Okay, now if I print, now sorry, I have to mention the print. Now if I execute, now see, Bob is getting printed. Okay, Bob is getting printed because I'm accessing, this is the student 2 is the first key and name is the second key. Always remember, we have to mention, in order to access the data from a nested dictionary, we have to mention our first key, then second key, and so on. Okay, now suppose we want to access this 80, my student 1 marks. Then what we can do? We can write print. First of all, our main dictionary is student. Okay. Now what is the my first key? That is student 1, right? And which one is the my second key? That is marks. Okay, marks. Marks. Okay. Now if I execute, now see it is getting printed. Okay. So this is how we can access our data from a nested dictionary. Okay. Now if I want to update the student 1 marks, that is 80. Suppose I want to make it 60. I want to update as 60. Okay. Then how can we do that? Okay. First of all, let me print my main dictionary. Okay. Okay. Fine. Now let me comment it out. Okay. Now my student name is having marks as 90. Okay. Okay. I'm to update which one? Student 1. Okay. Fine. Now my student 1 is having marks as 80. Now I am to make it 60. Okay. Then in order to update my marks, so I have to write print. Now first of all, we have to access that data. Then only we can update, right? So in order to access, what we have to do? We have to access my first main dictionary student. Within this, I have to mention my first key, that is student 1. And then we have to mention our second key, that is marks. Okay. Marks. And we have to mention which data, which value I want to update, that is 60. Suppose I want to update this 80 as 60. Okay. Fine. Now if I print my student dictionary, now see, previously this one is my dictionary. Now once I execute this one, okay, there's an error. Okay, I by mistake I mentioned print over here. Okay. Okay. Fine. Now if I print student, now see, my first dictionary, that is student 1, marks was 80. Once I perform the update operation, then my student key updated its marks as 60. Okay. Now I update the value as 60. Now this 80 has been updated as 80. Okay. So these are, we can update our any kind of value in our nested dictionary. In the same way, if you want to update the student 2 name Bob as Sam. Okay. Now first of all, we have to mention our first key, that is student 2, and we want to update the name, right? And we have to pass our name, which we want to update, Sam. Now if I execute, now see, student 2 name has been updated as Sam. Okay, it was initially Bob, now it has been updated as Sam, right? Great. Now next is, suppose I want to include a new key value pair in my student 2 keys, that is grade. Okay, that is grade. Then how can we insert this? Now first of all, let me comment it out. Now I am to include my data in this student 2. Okay, so for that I have to write student 2, first key is student 2, and within this and to include the new key, that is grade, right? That is grade equal to, suppose, A plus. Okay, this is the new key value that I am to include in my student 2 keys. Okay. Now if I print, my student and execute, now see, first this one. Okay, this print. Now first of all, it was student 1, student 2, both are having only name, age and marks. This also having age, marks, age and marks. Okay. Now in when I perform this insertion operation, then my student 1 is having the same keys and value, but in student 2 I have already in student 2 grade A plus has been inserted. Okay, name, age, marks are remain same, only grade, the new keys and value, has been inserted in my student 2 keys. Okay. Now suppose I want to include a complete separate data of a student 3. Okay, and to include a student 3 and all is data. Then we can perform like this. Let me comment it out. Okay. Now we can write as the main, as student our main dictionary. Here I am to include my another student details. So I have to mention student, the main dictionary, and here I have to pass new key, that is student 3. Okay. And here I have to create a new dictionary along with my is all the data. Okay. Name, suppose John. Okay. Age as 26. Marks as 75. Grade as B. Okay. Now, after inserting my new data in my student dictionary, if I print my student dictionary, then let's see. Now see, initially it was student 1, student 2. Okay, right? But once I perform this insertion operation, then it becomes student 1, student 2, and student 3. Okay, student 3. Name John, age 26, marks 27, and grade B. Okay, now this is the student 3 data has been inserted. Right? So this is how we can create our nested dictionary and we can perform different type of operation or insertion and updation the items in your dictionary. Okay. Next is useful dictionary function and operation. First one is length. Number of items in a dictionary. Basically, in using length function, it returns the number of key and pairs is present in my dictionary. Okay, this is the length. Membership testing, that is in or not in. So basically, using this testing, we can find any kind of key is present or not. In it will give true or false, the Boolean value. Okay. To find any kind of any key is present in my dictionary or not, we can use membership testing. Okay. Copying a dictionary. Copying a dictionary is basically if you want a separate copy of a dictionary, not reference. Okay, not reference. Completely a complete separate dictionary, then you can use this dot copy function. Okay. So using this, you can create a new dictionary, and you can perform any kind of update in such any kind of operation in this new dictionary. Okay. Next is merging dictionary. So we can merge our dictionary using two options. One is using update, one is pipe operator. So using update, what happens? Existing keys gets updated. Okay, when we merge two dictionary, then existing keys gets updated and new keys gets inserted. For example, if dict1, okay, this is having A1, B2, and dict2 is having B as 20, C as 3. Now if I write dict1 dot update, okay, dot update dict2, okay, and then I print my dict1, then it will give me the output as A1 B as 20 because B has been updated. B has been updated as the new value. Okay, so I told you existing keys are gets updated as B is there in both dictionary. So the new value has been updated in my B key. Okay, and in the dictionary 1, C doesn't have any C value. So once I merge, then the new value, new keys gets added. New keys gets added. Okay, so whenever we use dot update function to merge our dictionary, so existing keys gets updated, existing gets keys updated, and new keys gets added. Okay. Another is pipe operator. Okay, so it has been introduced in Python 3.9. Okay, and above version. Okay, so using this pipe operator, what happens when we merge two dictionary, then it will create a new dictionary. Okay, For example, if I write dict1 and put a pipe and dict2, then it will create a new dict. Okay, suppose dict3, it will create a new dictionary. Okay, and you can print the new dictionary dict3. Okay, so using update, we can update our existing dictionary, and using pipe operator, we can merge our dictionary and create a new dictionary, completely new dictionary. Okay. Now suppose this is my one of dictionary, that is student dictionary. Okay. Now if I want to see the length of this dictionary, then I just write print length as a inbuilt function, that is len. Okay, and pass my dictionary name. Now see, now how many key value pair is there? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so it gives me the output as 4. So now if I execute this one, now it gives me result as 4. Now see, result as 4, because length of my student is 4, because there is only 4 key and value pairs is there. Okay, so this is the length function. Okay, now membership testing. Now if I write print, I want to find out name key. Okay, name key is there or not. Okay, name in student. Okay, now it should be gives me answer as true. Okay, and print marks not in student. So it gives me output as false, right? Because name is in student. Yes, name is in student. So it should give me the output as true. And marks not in student, but marks in student. So it gives me output as false, right? So let's print. Now see, it gives me the output as true, and this gives me the output as false. Okay. So to find out any key, whether it is present in my dictionary or not, we can use our membership testing. Okay, using in or not in function. Okay. Next is copy. Okay. Now suppose, let me comment it out of these things. Now suppose I am creating one original dictionary. Okay, now here I am putting a value A1 B as 2. Okay, now duplicate, I'm writing duplicate. Okay, duplicate equal to original dot copy. Okay, just original dot copy. Okay, now if I print the duplicate one and execute, okay, there is a spelling mistake. Okay, original. Now see, my original dictionary was A1 B2, but when I print my duplicate, then it is also giving me as A1 B2, because I have created this duplicate by copying my original one. Okay, fine. Now if I want to update my this duplicate dictionary, that is also possible. Okay, now if I write something duplicate this dictionary, okay, and I want to update the value of A as 10, right? Now if I print my duplicate, then see, my initially my duplicate was A1 B2, but once I update my duplicate in A value in my duplicate dictionary, then it is updated A value as 10. Okay, so using dot copy, we can create a dictionary from an existing dictionary, and we can also perform any kind of updation or insertion operation in my newly created duplicate dictionary. Okay. Now let me comment it out. Next is margil. Okay. Now, for example, I am creating two dictionary. This is dictionary 1. Okay. A1, B2, okay, and D2 equal to B20 and C as 3. Okay. Now if I write D1 dot update, and within this I am passing my D2, and I print my D1. Okay. Now see what happened. Now see, when I print my Dict1, now I've already merged my both dictionary, so it is printing A as 1, and I told you it's updated the existing key. If the key is exist, then it will update the value. Okay, it update the value. So B gets updated initially towards B equal to 0, but once I mention B equal to 20, then this 20 value gets updated in my existing B keys. Okay, and the new key, that is 3 equal to 3, C equal to 3, this new key has been inserted. Okay, so let's remember, existing keys gets updated and new keys, existing keys gets updated and new keys gets inserted. Okay, right. And if I perform this merging operation using pipe operator, then there is always a new dictionary will be created. Okay, so merged equal to Dict1, putting a pipe operator, and Dict2. Okay, now if I print merged and execute, now see A1, B20 and C3. Okay, the way dot update function merge my both dictionary, in the same way this pipe operator also merge my both dictionary, but only difference is here no new dictionary has been created, but in case of pipe operator, here one new dictionary has been created, right? So these are the few more commonly used functions and operation in dictionary that make dictionaries powerful and practical in real program. Okay. So next is set. What is set? A set in Python is a building data structure that stores a collection of unique elements. Just remember unique elements. That means it doesn't store any kind of duplicate value. Okay. So the most important property is no duplicate values allowed. Okay. So first of all, let's see how we can create our set, right? So just like list and tuples, suppose we have some data. Okay. Like this. Okay. Now in case of list, we just put our square bracket, right? In case of list, we just put parenthesis, right? But in the same way, in case of set, we just have to write our data, okay, comma separated data, and we have to enclose this data with a curly braces. Okay, now this becomes set. Okay, this becomes tuple and this is list, right? So just like list and tuple, whenever we placed our data, comma separated data, and enclosed it with a curly brackets, then it becomes sets. Okay, so there are some use cases of set. Set are mainly used when you want to remove duplicates. Okay, that means just remember, whenever you create any kind of sets, 20, 21, 30 like this, it doesn't store any kind of duplicate value, right? Suppose you have a list 20, 30, again 20, 40 like this. Okay, now in order to remove the duplicates from this list, if you convert this list into set, then automatically the duplicate value will be removed and all the unique value will be stored here, and it becomes a set. Okay, so whenever you want to remove any kind of duplicates, then you can use set. Okay, when you want to perform mathematical set operation like union, intersect. Okay, so this type of mathematical operation, if you want to use, then you have to use set. Okay, you don't care about order. So basically in this tuple, all these things we maintain our order, right? But in case of set, the order doesn't maintain. Okay, so basically it is unordered. Okay, next is key characteristics of set. It is unordered. As I told you, it is unordered. Now for example, if this is a set, right? Now if you print this set, then you might get the value like this output: 20, 21, 30, 40. But in the same time, you can get also a print like this. Okay, this can be your output as well. Okay, because set doesn't maintain any kind of order, so you can get any kind of ordered output, right? If no duplicates allowed. So as I told you, set doesn't have any, it doesn't hold any kind of duplicate value. Okay, set is mutable, but elements must be immutable. So that means this is a set. Okay, this is a set. You can modify this set, but you cannot modify any value of under this set. That means if you want to try to store any kind of list or any kind of dictionary, okay, that cannot be possible. That cannot be possible because list and dictionary both are mutable, but the element under the set is immutable. That means you cannot store any kind of list or dictionary value. Okay. Next is mixed data type. That means in a set you can store that means in a set you can store any kind of integer value, any kind of string value, any kind of floating value, any kind of boolean value. Okay, all these are allowed. All these are allowed under set. Okay, so in set you can have any kind of mixed data type. Okay, so I'm creating a new file, set.py. Okay, now in order to create our set, first of all let me write one variable, okay, number. Now in order to create our set, we have to use curly braces, right? Now we have to give all the value by separated by comma, but all the value has to be unique. Okay, all the value has to be unique, right? Now if I print number and try to see the type of this number, now let's execute. Now see 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, this is my output and class is set. That means this number variable is basically a set. Okay, so we can create our set with this curly braces. Okay, now we can also create mixed data type. Okay, mixed data type set. Now if I write data, and here I can mention one integer, one string, okay, one floating value and one boolean value. Okay, now if I try to print this data, okay, now data, type of data. Now let's execute. Now see 3 SAM 3.1, this is a set and class is set. Okay, that means our set is also having mix of data type. Okay, next is just like list, dictionary, tuple, we have in case of set we have a inbuilt function that is set. By using we can create our set. Okay, now suppose we have a list. Okay, 1, 2, 2, 3, 4. Now this is a list, right? This is a list. So that is why list can have duplicate value, right? So this is a list and I'm putting 2 duplicate value, that is 2. Okay, now if I create suppose unique nums, okay, unique num, and I use the set inbuilt function and pass this list. And now if I print my unique num and try to see the type of this unique num. Okay, now see, this will basically this num is a list. Okay, now this list is having duplicate values. Okay, now I'm creating a set using the set function. Okay, within this I'm passing my list, this num list. Now I'm printing this unique list and try to find out the type of this unique list. Okay, now let's execute. Okay, let me comment it out. Okay, now let me execute. Now see, 1 2 3 4 1 2 2 3 4 5, it was my list. Now it becomes my set using this set function, and as set doesn't hold any duplicate values, so automatically 1 2 gets removed and all my unique values gets printed 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, and when I'm printing the type of this unique number, then it is showing class as set. Okay, so we can create our set using this curly braces. At the same time, we can create our set using this set inbuilt function, and whenever set gets created, then automatically this set holds the only unique keys and it removes all the duplicate values. Okay, now if I try to create a set from a string, okay, from a string, then suppose I write letter and try to create a set of this hello letter. Okay, now if I print this letter, now let's execute. Okay, I'm commenting it out. Now see, my sets gets created and all the each character becomes an element. Okay, each character becomes an element, and now see, there's 2L, right? So, and in my set only one L is available. That means the duplicate value gets removed. Okay, so basically my duplicate value gets removed and all the character becomes a single element in this set, right? Okay, next is just like list and dictionary, we can also create our empty set as well. Okay, now there is a catch. Here most of the beginners make the mistake. Okay, for example, why I'm telling you now, for example, I'm creating a empty set. Okay, now empty set. Now in case of list, what we have done, we just put a square bracket, that's it, and it becomes a empty list, right? But in the same way, if we put only a blank curly braces, then will be this a set? No, because this is how we can just putting a empty curly braces will create our dictionary, right? Now if I try to print the type of this empty set, okay, now see this became a dictionary. Okay, we have already learned how we can create empty dictionary just putting a curly braces, right? But in case of set, if we write the curly braces only, then it will create a empty dictionary. Okay, so in order to create an empty dictionary, we just have to write set and then pass it blank. Okay, just write set, and now if I try to print the type of this empty set, now see it is become set. Okay, so in order to create our empty set, we have to just pass our set in the function. That's it. Okay. Okay, now let me give you some other examples to understand its key characteristics. Okay, now as I told you, let me comment it out. As I told you, set are unordered. Okay, so suppose I am writing a number and creating one set. Suppose 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Okay, now if I print this one, okay, sorry, let me print. Now if I execute, now see I mentioned 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, but my set output is 50, 20, 40, 10, 30. Okay, that means set is unordered. Okay, whatever order you have mentioned in your set, it doesn't matter. It will print in any unordered way. Okay, fine. Now suppose I create one duplicate value over here. Okay, 50, another is 40. Okay, now there is two duplicate values. One is 50, one is 40. Okay, now if I print, now see, the set automatically removes all the duplicate values. All the duplicate values, that is 50 and 40. Now only 50 and 40, one value is there. Okay, that means set doesn't hold any kind of duplicate value. It automatically removes all the duplicate value. Okay, as set is unordered, so it doesn't have any kind of index position. Okay, so to access, if you want to access this position, then if you write number and pass your 0th index position, then it will show error. It will show error. Okay, because set doesn't have any kind of index position. Okay, so in order to access this position, what you have to do? First of all, you have to create your set into list. Then from that list, you have to access the element. Okay, so for that, we have to write list. Okay, this is the inbuilt function to create our list, and we have to pass our number. Okay, now suppose this is my new number. Okay, now if I print new number, let me first print new number. Okay, now see, it becomes my list. Okay, it becomes my list. Okay, my number, it was my set. Now it becomes my list. I have converted this set into a list using this list inbuilt function. Okay, now this is my list. Now if I want to access this 20, that means list is having its own index position. You know that, right? So if in order to access this position, we have to pass just number. This is the first position, right? So this is the first index position. Now if I print, now see, 20 is printing. Okay, we are getting that output, right? So in order to access any element from the set, first of all, you have to create it. You have to convert it into list. Then you can access by its index position. Okay. Although there is another way to access all the element from a set, that is using loop. Okay, that I will show you in my next slide. Right. And one more thing, let me comment it out. Okay, let me take this example. Suppose this is my set. Okay, now as I told you, sets are mutable, but the elements under the set is immutable. That means if we pass any kind of list, suppose 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now list is mutable, right? List is mutable. Now if I mention any kind of list within this set and try to print my number, then it will show error. Now it is show error. Okay, it is showing error because the element under this number set is the list, and list is a mutable, but set element cannot be mutable. That is why it is showing error. In the same way, if I mention any kind of dictionary over here, suppose name is Sam. Okay, this is a dictionary. We know dictionary also immutable, right? Now if I execute this one, now this is also showing error, right? But if we mention any kind of tuple, okay, any kind of tuple, now it will not show any kind of error because tuple is immutable, right? Tuple is immutable. Now if we execute, now see, this tuple is getting printed because tuple is immutable and the element of this set is immutable. That is why it is giving me the proper output. It is not showing any kind of error. Okay. So I hope you understand how we can create our set using curly braces and using our inbuilt function that is set, and what are the key features with different type of examples, right? Next is adding and removing set elements. First one is add. Okay, using this add function, we can add a single element in our set. Suppose these are set 1, suppose, and we have 1, 2, right? Now if we write set 1 dot add, and within this if we pass 3, then our set become like this: 1, 2, 3. Okay, this is how we can add a single element using add function. Next is update. Add multiple elements at once. Okay, suppose we have a set number 1, 2, 3. Okay, now if we write number dot update, okay, number dot update, and within this if we pass a list of 4, 5, 6. Okay, now if I try to print my number, then it will give me the answer as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, this will be my set. So this is using this update function, we can add multiple elements at once. But remember, this update function can take list, as we passed list, right? It can take list, this update function can also take tuple, this update function can also take set, and we can also pass string. Okay, so within this update function we can pass any of them. Okay, any of them, right? That means if we write num dot update, and within this, instead of list, if we write something like this 4, 5, 6, okay, this is also applicable. If we write num dot update, okay, and within this if we pass a set that is 4, 5, 6, okay, that is also perfect. Okay, so update function can take any kind of data type. Okay, next is remove a specific element. Okay, now for example, this is my set. Now if I write num dot remove, okay, and if I pass 3, okay, this 3 element, now it will remove my 3 element, and finally it will give me the set as 1 and 2. Okay, but if this value is not present, suppose we pass 4, then it will show me the error. Okay, it will show me the error, right? Okay, next is discard. Discard is also work in the same way as it works thus remove. Okay, now if we write num dot discard and pass my 3 value, now it will give me the output as 1 and 2. Okay, but the advantage of using discard instead of remove, that is, if we write num dot discard and pass any value which is not present in my set, then it will show no error. Okay, no error. That means my program will go on. Okay, it will not stop. It will not stop. Okay, that means if the element exists, then it will remove, and if it doesn't exist, then nothing happened. Okay, so that is why discard is more safer use than remove. Okay, next is pop, remove random element. As set is unordered. Okay, so if we write num dot pop, okay, it will remove any random value from my set. Okay, from my set it will remove any random value from my set. As our set is unordered, so pop function will remove any random value from my set. Okay, right. Next is clear, remove all elements. That means if we write num dot clear, then it will remove all the elements from my set, and it will give me a blank set. Okay, it will give me a blank set. So these are the basic function. Using them, we can add and remove our elements from a set. Okay. So in order to start with the add function, let me first create one set fruit. Okay. And I'm mentioning apple and another is banana. Okay. Now if I write fruit dot add, okay, fruit dot add and mentioning my new element, that is mango. Okay. And now if I print my fruit, now see, initially my fruit set was apple and banana. Now after adding the mango, my set is become banana, apple, and mango. Okay, fine. Now if we try to insert the already exist element, okay, now suppose apple is already there. Now again, if you want to insert one apple, okay, and try to execute, now see, nothing happens. Okay, that means no duplicate value can be added in our set, right? Okay. Now next is update. Update, we use update to add multiple elements at once. Okay. So let me first comment it out, and now I'm creating one new set. Okay. Suppose number. Now this is my one number. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Now if I write number dot update, okay, and within this, if I pass any kind of list, suppose 4, 5, 6, this is a list. Okay, this is a list. Now if I print my number, now see, initially my number was 1, 2, 3. This is my set, number set was 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now after performing the update operation, now it becomes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now 4, 5, 6, the list, the number in a list from whatever I passed in this update function, that number has been added, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Now if I pass a tuple instead of this list, okay, now see, now the same thing is happening. Okay, that means update can take list, tuple, both. Okay. Even if I pass the set, if I pass a set, okay, within this update function, that is also applicable. Now see, that is also applicable. Okay. So update function can take set, list, tuple, string, anything. Okay. This is the advantage of update function. Okay. Next is, let me comment it out, these two lines. Suppose this is my number. Okay. Now I want to remove the second element, that is 2. Okay. Now if I write number dot remove and pass 2. Okay, pass 2. And now I print my number. Now see. Okay, let me print this one. Okay. Now this is my number. It will print the number set. Okay. Now after removing the 2 element, this 2 element, I'm printing my number set again. Okay. Now let's print. Now see, it was my number set was 1, 2, 3, right? After after this remove function, only 1 and 3 is there. 2 gets removed. Okay. Now suppose instead of 2, if I pass 20 element is there in my number set. No. Now if I try to remove this 20 element from my set and try to execute this one, now see, it is showing error. It is showing error. Okay. So using the remove function, we can remove the existing element from a set. But if we pass any kind of non-existing element in remove function, then it will show the error. Okay. That is why instead of using remove, we can use discard. Okay. Now let me comment it out. Now if we write number dot discard. Okay, num discard, and pass my any value. Suppose 2. First of all, let me remove my 2 value. Okay. Now if I execute, now see it is working just like remove. Okay. Initially it was 1, 2, 3. Now it is 1 and 3. 2 got removed. Okay. It is working just like remove. But now if I pass 20, now in case of remove, it was showing error, right? But in case of discard, it will show nothing. Okay. It will show nothing. That means initially my set was 1, 2, 3. But when I perform the discard operation, but mentioning the wrong item, then it will perform nothing. It will perform nothing, and it will execute as it is. Okay, it will not show any kind of error. That is why we always recommended to use discard in your program for safer use. Okay, fine. Next is pop. Okay, now let me comment it out. Next is pop. Now if I write, okay, let me do one thing. Now if I write number dot pop, okay, number dot pop, and now if I print my number and execute this, now see, it will remove random number. It will remove 1. Okay. That means in case of set, as set is unordered, so using this pop function, if we try to remove any element, then it will remove any random element from my set. Okay. This is the pop. Now the last one is clear. Now if we write number dot clear, okay, and then try to print my number, let me comment it out, these 2 lines. Okay, now if I execute this one, now see, initially my set was 1, 2, 3. Once I perform the clear function, then it gives me the blank empty set. Okay, this is giving me the empty set. So as set is mutable, so we can modify them after creation by adding and removing elements using this inbuilt function. Okay. Next is membership testing and iterating through set. First one is membership testing, in and not in. That means if we have suppose fruit, apple and banana. Okay. Then we can perform our membership testing like if we write print apple in fruit, then it gives me the answer as true, because in membership testing we always get output as boolean. Okay, true or false, right? In the same way, if we write print apple not in fruit, then it gives me the result as false, right? Because apple in fruit, that means apple is there in my fruit set, that means true. But when I write apple not in fruit, that means apple is not in fruit, that should be false, right? Because apple is there in my fruit, that is why it is giving me a false. So this is how we can perform our membership testing to find out any kind of items, to check any kind of item is there in my sets or not. Okay. Second one is iterating through a set, that means a loop. Okay. As I told you in my previous slide, we can access our set element after converting my set into a list, right? In the same way, we can access our set element even using a loop. Okay. For example, if we write, suppose this is my set fruit. Okay. Now, if I write for fruit this, suppose this fruits. Okay, now fruit in fruits. Okay, and try to print my fruit. Okay, then it will give me the answer: apple, banana, all these things. Okay, so to access our set element, we can use our loop, that is called iterating through a set. That means we are iterating all the element from a set using this for loop. Okay, now to perform our membership testing, let me create first one set. Okay, let me write fruits. One is apple. Okay, one is banana, and another is mango. Okay, now if I print apple in fruits, right, that means it should give me the answer as true. Okay, because apple actually is in fruit. Okay, now in the same way, if I write print banana not in fruits, okay, then it should give me the answer as false, right? Now if I write print orange in fruits, then it should give me the answer as false, right? And again, if I write orange not in fruits, then it should give me the answer as true, right? That means apple in fruits, that should be true, right? Banana not in fruits, but banana in my fruits, that means this is false. Orange in fruits, is there orange is there? No, that means it is false. And orange not in true, orange is not there, that means it is true, right? Now if I execute this one, now see, true, false, false, true, true, false, false, true. Okay, right? This is my output. Okay, this is how we can perform our membership testing to find out any item is present in my set or not. Okay, using this membership testing, that is in and not in. Okay, great. Now in order to access all the element using a loop, okay, how can we perform this one? Now first of all, let me comment it out. Now if we write for fruit in fruits, okay, and try to print my fruit. Okay, that means when I run for loop in my fruit set, this fruit set, then all the elements get stored in my fruit, this loop variable. Okay, this fruit. Now when I print this fruit, then it will show me all the items under this set. Okay, now see, apple, mango, banana. Okay, so we can access our element from a set using a loop as well. Okay, so as we learned, we can access our set element after creating my set into a list. At the same time, we can access our set element using a loop as well. Okay, fine. Next is set operation. This is where set becomes extremely useful. Okay, especially in real world data comparison. Okay, first one is union. Okay, we can perform this union using union method, and another is pipe operator. Okay, so in union gives you all unique elements from both set. Okay, so suppose we have a set 1, 2, 3, and another is B. Okay, that is 3, 4, 5. Okay, now if we perform A dot union B, okay, then it will give me the answer as 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Okay, so basically all the unique elements from both set. Okay, just give me the all the unique element whatever is present in my both element, both set. Okay, next is pipe operator. Next is pipe operator. Okay, so we can perform this like this, just like this. Okay, instead of using dot union, if you perform a a operator pipe operator b, then it will give me the same answer. Okay, now next is intersection. So intersection gives you element common in both set. Okay, which is common in both set. So we can perform this operation using intersect operation, and another is AND operator. So if I have a equal to 1, 2, 3, okay, and b equal to 2, 3, 4, okay, and if we write a intersection b, okay, then it will give me the answer as 2 and 3, because in this two set 2 and 3 these elements are common. Okay, so using intersection we just get our common element from both the set. Okay, so in the same way, if we instead of writing dot intersection, if we write a and b, then it will give me the same answer. Okay, it will give me the same answer. Okay, fine. Next is difference. Difference gives element that exist in the first set only. Okay, in the first set only. So we can perform this operation using difference method, and another is this minus operator. Okay, this minus operator. So basically, if we have a 1, 2, 3, okay, this is b 2, 3, 4, and if we write a dot difference b, okay, now it will give me the answer as 1. So what is the difference between a and b? That is 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4. That is difference is 1 and 4, right? But whenever we use difference function, then it will give me the element from the first set only. From the first set only. Okay. So whatever we write a dot difference b, that means the first set is a. So whatever is differ element from the first set, that will give me the answer. Okay. So my first set is a. So one is different element. So it is giving me the output as 1. Okay. Now this all operation also can be performed using like this, a minus b. Okay. Now if we perform b minus a, then it will give me the answer as 4. Okay, because o is differ. Next is semantic difference. Okay, so basically in semantic difference gives element that are in either set but not in both. That means the both difference. Okay, both element which is different. That means if we perform a dot from this two set, okay, a dot semantic underscore difference and write b, then it will give me the answer as 1 and 4, because 1 and 4 are different. Okay, so using difference we can get the differ element from the first set only, and from use semantic difference we can get the differ element from both set. Okay, at the same time we can perform this semantic difference operation using this caret operator. Okay, using this caret operator. Okay, so these are the few important set operation. So in order to see my set operation example, first of all let me create two set. Okay, now first of all let me write class a. Okay, class a, and here I am mentioning few names. One is Alice, second is Bob, Okay. Another is Charlie. Okay. And in class B, I'm mentioning Bob. One is David, and another is Emma. Okay. Now, first I'm showing the union operation. Okay. So all student, all student. Okay. Now I have to write class A dot union. Okay. And I have to pass my class B. Okay. Fine. Next is intersection. Okay. That is common. Okay. That is common, student. And here I have to write class A dot intersection class B. Okay. Fine. Next is difference. Okay. Difference is only from the first set. That means class A. Okay. So only in class A. Okay. So class A dot dot difference class B. Okay. And last one is semantic difference. That means not common. Okay. Not common. This class A dot semantic difference class B. Okay. So these are the inbuilt function. Now we can perform this same operation using the symbols. Okay. I told you there's two way to perform this operation. Okay. Now first let me print a separator. Okay. Now this is separator so that you can understand it. Now here in case of union, what we can use? We can use our type operator, right? Class A, class B, right? Okay. And in case of intersection, we can perform, we can write AND operator, right? Okay. And in case of difference, we can use minus operator, right? And in case of semantic difference, we can use this caret operator, right? Now see. Now if I execute this one, now see. First of all, try to understand first one. See, union, that means all student. That means all the unique student from both class, okay? That is Alice, Bob, Charlie. Bob is not common, right? Bob is common for both class, right? So our result will be Alice, Bob, Charlie, David, Emma. Okay. Now see, Alice, Emma, David, Charlie, and Bob. Okay. These are the common student. Okay, from both class. Okay. Now second one is intersection. That means only common student from both class. Okay. So who is the only common student from both class? That is Bob. Okay. So that our output is Bob. Okay. Now third one is difference. Difference means the person who is only from different person only from the first class A, right? So who is that? Now if I see Alice, Bob, Charlie, here Bob, David, Emma. Okay. Now in my first set, that is class A, Alice and Charlie are differ from my class B. So that is why my Charlie and Alice is getting printed. Okay. And third one is semantic difference. That is not common. That means all the differ student from both class. That is Alice, Charlie, and David Ima. Now see, Alice, Charlie, David, in Ima. Okay. So these four are not common from this both class. Okay. So that is semantic difference. Now I perform this operation using this operator. Now see, in case of all student, my output is same. Okay. In case of intersection, my output is same. In case of difference, my output is same, right? And in case of semantic difference, my output is same. Okay. So you can understand how we can perform this important set operation using this inbuilt function, at the same time using this symbolic. Okay. So set operations allow us to perform mathematical comparison between collection of data, right? Union combines all unique elements. Intersection finds the common element. Difference finds the element present in the first set, not in the other set. Okay. And semantic difference finds elements that are not common between both sets, right? So these operations are extremely powerful for comparing data sets in real world applications. Okay. There are few more advanced set of methods. Those are extremely powerful in real world application. Okay. First one is subset. Okay. Check if one set is another set. Okay. And inside of another. For example, now if we write A equal to 1, this is a one set and this is another set. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. This is another set. Now if we write A dot is subset, and within this if we pass B, then it will give me the answer as true. Okay. Because A is 1, 2 and A is a subset of B. Within is B set, A 1 is 2 is present. The value of A, that is 1 and 2 is present. That means A is a subset of B. That is why it is showing the answer as true. But if we write B is subset of A, B 1, 2, 3, 4 is 1, 2, 3, 4. All these things are present in A. No, that means B is not subset of A. That means it is false. Okay. Just like other operation, this is subset also we can perform using symbol. Now if we write this A is subset of B, then we can write like this: A less than equal to B. That means A is subset of B. That is true. Okay. So we can write is subset, or we can use this less than equal to symbol. Okay. Next is superset. Checks if one set contains another. That means if A is 1, 2 and B is 1, 2, 3, 4. Now if we write B dot is superset of A, that should give me the answer as 2. Okay. B superset of A, because A is present within this B, right? A is present within B. That means B is superset of A. B is superset of A. That means this is true. Now if I write B is superset of B, then it will give me the answer as false. Okay. Understand? Now this operation also can be performed by a symbol. Now B is superset of A. That is true. Okay. Next is okay, I mentioned superset wrongly twice. Okay. Next is disjoint. Check if two sets have no common elements. Okay. That means suppose if I write A 1, 2, B 3, 4. Okay. Now if I print A is disjoint of B, is there any common element between these two sets? No. That means it is true. Okay. Disjoint gives me answer as true if there is no common element in in our both set. Okay. Now, if we write another set C to 5, okay, to 5. Now, if we print A dot is this joint of C, now tell me what will happen. A and C, is there any common element? Yes, there is common element, that is 2. Okay, that means it will give me the answer as 4. Okay, so in is this joint, always it gives me the answer as true whenever there is no common element between the sets. Okay, now let me create first two set on it, A 1 2. Okay, B equal to 1 2 3 4. Okay, now if I print A dot is subset of B and another is B subset of A. Okay, now if I execute, now see, first one is give me the answer as true because A is a subset of B, because 1 2 is present in B. That means A is a subset of B, but B is not subset of A, right? That is why it is giving me the answer as false. Okay, now we can perform this operation using operator. Okay, which operator? Now if I write print A less than equal to B, that means A is subset of B, then it gives me answer as true. Okay, fine. Now next is superset. Okay, now if we write A is superset of B and B is superset of A. Now tell me what will be the answer. Now see A superset, A is superset of B. A is superset of B. No, because A doesn't have all the elements of B. But B is superset of A because all the elements of A is present in B. That means B is superset of A. That is why it is giving me the answer is true. Okay. So to perform this operation using operator, we can perform like this: B greater than equal to A. That means B is a superset of A. Now it gives me the answer as true. Okay. Fine. Now next is disjoint. Now for example, A is 1 2. Okay, and B, let me write B as 3 and 4. Okay, now if I write A is disjoint B. Okay, A is disjoint B. Is there any common element between A and B? No, right? No. That means it should give me the answer as true because is disjoint works when there is no common element. Okay, so that is, then it will give me the answer as true. Okay, now if I write another set is C equal to 2 comma 5. Okay, and now I print A dot is disjoint C. Now is there any common element between A and C? A and C, yes, 2 is common in both set, right? Now, if I print this one, now it will give me the answer as false because there is a common element. So always remember, is joint always works. Always it gives me the answer as true whenever there is no common element between two sets. Okay. So these are the few advanced level set operation that you can perform in your real world application. Okay. So that's it, guys, on dictionaries and set in Python. Today we have learned how dictionaries help us store data using key value pairs for first lookup, right? And how set allows us to work with unique elements and perform powerful mathematical operations like union and intersections. Okay, so these two data structures are extremely important in the real world Python programming, especially when you are working with APIs, databases, and data analysis. Okay, so if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with someone learning Python. So keep practicing, and I'll see you in the next lecture.